you could end up making a dress. Some people have even broken needles and I have an alternative way that should prevent the struggles. Hello, my name is Zanete. I am the designer behind Zanete Knits and welcome to one of my pattern deep dives. This is on Moonglow top, the one that I'm wearing. It's coming out in a couple of days. And in this video, I wanted to let you know all about the inspiration, the yarn and needles and the gauge, the construction techniques used, and some possible customizations for this top. The inspiration comes from Pinterest. It's a fusion of many various different summer tops I saw while browsing to get inspired for my summer wardrobe. Quite a few various lace tops attracted my attention, so I wanted to give this lace a go. I hadn't done too many lace and knit designs before, so this is a first proper one, almost all over lace. And I've also added some cables in there, which add more to the texture. But all in all, yes, I wanted a white one, and that's how this top came to be. It's called Moonglow because the yarn I chose has little tiny sequins in there, and it's shimmering. So Moonglow is basically a reflection of the yarn, but you don't have to use sequins in this top. For me, it was to be the ultimate summer party top, and it turned out just as I envisaged it. So the gauge is 20 stitches and 28 rows in 10 by 10 centimeters. That is 4 by 4 inches of stockinette after blocking, but clearly a lot of this isn't stockinette. So the pattern also tells you how wide the lace and cable stitch panel should be. I had to use 4mm needles, that is US size 6 for the main fabric, and I used smaller needle for the I-cord finishing around the neckline and the armholes. That's just the suggested needle size. Whichever needle size gets you the gauge is the best needle size for you. I'm using 2 strands of tencel bamboo yarn held together, plus an additional strand that is called Party Deluxe, which is just a thread with those sequins together. So it creates this quite dense and thick and heavy fabric, but it's fairly cool and not too warm due to the plant fibers in it. If you were to use a thinner yarn, you might get a lot more see-through fabric, or you could go in a smaller gauge and just pick a bigger size. The stitch gauge is the most important for this project, as the lengths are adjustable throughout, and there are notes in the pattern where and how, if you wanted to extend the armhole area, or I mean, it's worked top down, so you can go as short or as long as you wish in terms of the body. And the pattern comes in 9 sizes, and the size is determined by the chest circumference, and the smallest finished chest circumference turns out to be 86 centimeters. That is 35.5 inches. And for the largest size is 166 centimeters, and that is 67.5 inches. And it's designed to be worn with 5 to 10 centimeter, that is 2 to 4 inch positive ease. As the ease isn't that noticeable because the pattern is quite textured, so it stretches a lot and gathers, and it looks quite fitted, even though there's no shaping in the waist whatsoever. The charts are the same, the panels are the same. So in the terms of grading for the sizes, there's just more of the stockinette that gets added to accommodate all the sizes. And I'll go through all the techniques used as I discuss the construction. We start by casting on the stitches for the back neckline, and then we work down and we make increases along the shoulder seam here until we reach the full width of the back, and then we work straight to where we're ready to make increases for the armhole shaping, and we put stitches on hold. Pick up stitches along the shoulder seam there for the fronts separately, and then when we're ready to join them to finish the neckline, we just cast on stitches using backwards loop cast on. And there's no additional shaping here to create the round neckline. I'm relying solely on the decreases that are in the lace pattern that direct the fabric, so it's very straightforward to follow. And then we mimic the back. We work to where we need to add increases for the armhole shaping, and finally we join the back and the front with some additional underarm cast on stitches, also using backwards loop cast on, and we work in the round to the desired length and finish with an I-cord bind off. Now it could be the chart is infinitely repeatable. You could end up making a dress, but you might have to add some increases at the sides in the stockinette area to cater for your hips, or if you wanted to add your own shaping for whatever reason, it's fairly straightforward to do because it is just plain stockinette here at the sides. And for all the increases, I am recommending using lifted increases. They create a very nice decorative detail, but any increase can be substituted. If you are struggling with the holes that lifted increases can sometimes leave. Now, you would need to be able to read a chart, as I have not provided a written instructions for the charts. They are quite sizable. There are 4 different charts that are included. For me personally, it's much easier to follow the visual than orientate in the text, but the charts are using such basic stitches that it shouldn't be a problem. There's just yarn overs, SSK knit 2 together, and there is a central double decrease, but for that there is also a link to a little quick demo video. There's also an alternative to knitting 3 together because it is plant fiber. It's quite inelastic, and any more than 2 stitches knitting together might be tricky to do. And some people have even broken needles, and I have an alternative way that should prevent the struggles. To finish the neckline as well as the armholes, we pick up stitches around here for the neckline cast on and the edges for the shoulders and the back neckline. And we do that with a smaller needle, and we then just do a round off knitting and bind off right away. We do similarly for the armhole, but you can choose to use bigger needles or smaller needles depending on how it fits. If you want it to be a bit more stretched out, by all means use larger needles. If you need if the armhole is turning out a little too wide for your liking, you can use smaller needle. Another way to decrease the circumference for the armhole that could sometimes be larger than expected because we are casting on here at the underarm with quite a loose cast on. You could do a round of evenly spaced out decreases around the area before binding off to just fix and adjust the fit for you. And that's all there is to it. If you wanted to add a different kind of neckline finish or armhole finish, that's totally possible as we pick up stitches here and there. And as I mentioned, the length is entirely up to you, as well as the chart is infinitely repeatable. If you wanted to add sleeves, that might be a little tricky because the sleeve that would fit here is a set-in sleeve, so you'd have to design your own sleeve cap and either work them separately and then sew them in, or try and pick up stitches here and then shape the sleeve cap using short rows, working back and forth. At the same time decreasing the stitches because our upper arm circumference is smaller than our armhole circumference. So there's quite a bit of maths involved. I wouldn't say it's trivial to add sleeves, but that's why this is a summer top. I'm sure that if you knit it in a warmer yarn, it could be also a nice slip over another garment for layering later in the winter or fall. And then the sleeves can be borrowed from the undergarment that you're wearing. And yeah, as I mentioned, the pattern is dropping in a couple of days. So if you are a newsletter subscriber, make sure that you watch out for the email in your inbox with your subscriber exclusive discount code. If you're not a subscriber yet, there's still a little bit of time to become one if you follow the link in the description. And I hope this video has been helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.